Following Chairman Damien Al Diablo's ruthless directive at the summit of Dev Tower, the sadistic mercenary commander Johnny Lust wasted no time claiming his target. Leading his Shadow Syndicate, a radical terrorist unit known as the Arch, Johnny launched a calculated tear gas-heavy raid on the sanctuary's outer perimeter. Though Henry Orbesto, Nasher Williams, and Kellis fought desperately to seal the deepest caverns, Johnny's mercenaries utilized specialized nullification nets to capture dozens of defenseless Yangers, including Dara, the legendary Yanger Ice Dragon. Days later, Johnny unveiled his grand conquest under the sparkling lights of a newly constructed high-security exhibition center built along the city's coastal highway. Marketed to high society investors, corporate tycoons, and military brass as an alien harmony and educational reserve, the facility was nothing more than a glorified torture prison, disguised as a public spectacle. Stepping before glittering press cameras with an immaculate suit and a hollow smile, Johnny spun a web of grand deception. "Look at these magnificent specimens," Johnny proclaimed to the world, gesturing to the heavy glass enclosures housing the weakened creatures. "The media claims they yearn for the wild, but our research proves otherwise. The Yangers do not ask for freedom. They crave our structure, our guidance, and our control." Beneath the polished public walkways, however, lay a brutal reality. Out of sight from the visiting crowds, Johnny systematically trained his henchmen in methods of subtle psychological and physical abuse. Using pain-inducing neural collars, suppressed magical feedings, and sonic emitters, the guards broke the spirits of the Yangers to keep them perfectly submissive during visiting hours. Johnny's ultimate goal was clear: profit off the public's curiosity while harvesting raw magic from the creatures behind closed doors to supply Dev Inc.'s black market operations. Driven by a shared vow to stop the cruelty, Henry, Nasher, and Kellis infiltrated the exhibition complex under the cloak of midnight. Using Nasher's intimate knowledge of corporate security protocols and Henry's sharp observational skills as a psychologist, the duo bypassed thermal sensors and stealthily accessed the facility's master surveillance node. They hijacked the main broadcasting feeds, overriding the promotional videos across every giant display screen in the park to play raw, unfiltered footage of Johnny's henchmen torturing the captive Yangers. Before Johnny's men could cut the power, the night sky violently tore open above the complex. Sent by Chairman Diablo to silence anyone who could link Dev Inc. to illegal genetic warfare, a towering Kethos apex predator descended from the clouds. A terrifying, armored eagle-rhino hybrid. With razor-sharp talons, massive obsidian wings, and a heavy, bone-shattering horn, the hybrid beast was driven into an uncontrollable rage by a glowing control node surgically implanted into its brainstem. The hybrid unleashed absolute havoc upon the park. It smashed through reinforced observation towers, overturned armored transports, and scattered Johnny's fleeing henchmen like dry leaves. The public broadcast of Johnny's cruelty, paired with the sudden monster attack, sent the remaining visitors into mass panic, exposing Johnny's lies live to global news channels. As alarms blared and fire raged through the courtyard, Johnny personally confronted the heroes with his elite guard, ordering his men to kill both the intruders and the rogue hybrid. Surrounded by falling debris, a chaotic three-way battle erupted. Nasher drew her heavy blade, her movements fluid and lethal as she deflected plasma fire and took down Johnny's top enforcers. Meanwhile, the Eagle Rhino hybrid landed heavily in the center of the arena, its glowing red eyes locked on Henry and Kellis. As the beast raised its massive talons to crush them, Kellis stepped forward, refusing to draw upon offensive frost magic. Remembering the core lesson of their journey, that empathy must bridge the gap between Yangers, Kethos, and humans, Kellis closed his eyes and channeled a warm, shimmering aura of pure Yanger compassion. Henry stood steadfast beside Kellis, using his psychological intuition to speak calmly to the creature, addressing the pain caused by the cruel device on its head. Rather than attacking, Kellis extended his small hand and gently touched the beast's wounded brow. A soft, iridescent light washed over the hybrid, neutralizing its burning rage and soothing the torment in its mind. For the first time in its engineered existence, the Eagle-Rhino hybrid experienced genuine sympathy instead of malice. Reclaimed by its own free will, the hybrid turned its fierce gaze toward the prison that had bound so many. Gathering the raw, cosmic energy hummed within its core, the beast roared, a sonic thunderclap that vibrated through the earth. A radiant, blinding, atomic wave blast erupted outward from its chest in a sweeping ring of translucent blue energy. The shockwave tore through the entire exhibition center. High-voltage force fields shattered like thin glass. Soundproof containment vaults cracked open, and every iron cage disintegrated into dust. Not a single Yanger was harmed by the blast. Instead, their chains dissolved instantly. With triumphant roars and cries of relief, dozens of liberated Yangers, led by Dara the Ice Dragon, soared into the night sky, taking flight alongside the majestic Eagle-Rhino hybrid toward the open horizon. In the smoking ruins of the destroyed zoo, Johnny Lust pushed himself up from the rubble, his grand empire reduced to ash, and his lies laid bare to the world. Seeing sirens flashing in the distance as law enforcement closed in on his exposed syndicate, Johnny glared back at Henry and Nasher with pure venom. "Don't celebrate yet, psychologist," Johnny spat, backing into the shadows of an underground escape tunnel. "The Arch is far bigger than this zoo. I will hunt you both down, and I will have my revenge."
准备完毕。
As Johnny vanished into the dark, silence settled over the ruined plaza. Flashes from news cameras illuminated the night, and the remaining crowd of rescued workers and onlookers began to cheer, applauding the liberation of the magical beasts and the bravery of the young defenders. Standing together amidst the gentle drift of falling embers, Henry turned to Nasher. The heavy weight of her father's tragic past and the dark chains of vengeance that had once governed her life seemed to melt away under the moonlight. She looked at Henry, the man who had shown her forgiveness when she offered him a blade, and who had stood by her to fight for justice. Without a word, Nasher pulled Henry close by his jacket, leaning in to kiss him passionately in front of the flashing cameras and cheering crowd. Henry wrapped his arms around her, returning the kiss as Kellis stood happily at their side. Bound by love, truth, and the trust of the creatures they protected, Henry and Nasher stepped into their new future, ready to face whatever threat Dev Inc. would send next.